like a two-punch sort of method when you're prospecting, in terms of don't prospect and offer your services, but prospect with something else. Get people to a webinar, get people to
Yep.
something and for that you can prospect like crazy because you're not selling. So there's less resistance, more people will participate.
So joining me on the line today, I've got Darren Baripa from My Tax Guy. Welcome to the call, Darren.
David, it's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Yes, I know we've been talking in and out for a while, and today, I suppose, I just want to find out, actually, before I even talk about what you're doing, let's talk about what you do. Tell us about the Tax Guy.
All right, so My Tax Guy is an accounting business. So we've got accounting services, tax, financial management. For its primary business to business business. And we help business owners with all sorts of little nightmares that they get, little snags that they hit while they're doing their tax returns and all that. So
yeah. Tell us a bit about how you're navigating the current economy, because obviously it's been pretty sort of dire for some people, and dealing with all of these new sort of government fundings and all sorts of things. How are you navigating it all?
Well, we had other businesses as well, and that didn't do that well. So I totally relate to people that are struggling right now, doing it hard.
Yeah.
However, it was a bit of do or die sort of thing. So you push harder and harder, and then persistence beats resistance. So you just keep on going, and things start happening, and you start seeing income streams, you start seeing money appearing where you didn't think there was going to be, money. You start seeing customers start reaching out to you as well.
Yeah.
As long as you just hang in there, it's like Woody Allen said, half the, what did he say? Half the battle is showing up, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Something like that, right? It's just showing up. You got to show up. Yeah.
Just show up.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I think sometimes, one of the things we've seen a lot of is the fear around, the impact on the economy is put people not only into physical isolation, but also like communication isolation. And I know you're online a lot and I'm online a lot, because I think, we need to keep communicating with our markets. We need to keep communicating with each other just to make sure people can come out the other end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this isolation, I think it actually makes people see the world a bit bleaker, and because of that, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They create their own downfalls. In some cases, some of them, they've been hard hit, David. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I talk to them, and they could have done a few other things, but because that desperation creeped in, then they didn't do, and then they actually hurt their business as well. There's been a few of those.
Yeah, and I think anyone who was doing it tough before COVID, we just had the bushfires, and even some people who were just sort of hand to mouth, and something like this comes along and it can just take the whole business out.
Yeah. If you were already on your last leg, then you didn't really have a chance. So whatever positivity that I'll tell you right now, and there will be exceptions to it. Like there's some people that they can't actually do some of the things I'll probably suggest. But yeah.
Now let's talk about the opportunities, because for me, business is about finding opportunities and sort of looking for them all the time. And this is just another situation of change where there is opportunity. What do you see in the market?
I'll tell you what I did. I just looked for multiple income streams, other income streams that you can come to your business. Like I'll give you my example, and then I'll suggest a few examples for people as well. It's tax. So I lectured in tax, and I tutored in tax, and then I started the tutoring business in tax, which makes a few $1,000s a month right now net. Like we started different little things like that that started bringing money in. And if you're a consultant in a particular field as well, it's something that people that can do that. They can offer a course in it. They can put an online course. A lot of people are online right now. You can do those sort of things. Opportunities are in and around reducing costs as well, being a bit innovative about that. There are tools out there. Reduce your cost, reduce your tax bill, reduce any cost you can get your hands on, and create that ROI for your efforts right now. It's a good time to do it too.
Yeah. And I suppose that's what this has forced a lot of people to do, is really just look into their business and see where they can tune it and trim it. Just get rid of the things that are not working.
Yeah. Fine-tune the business. Work with not just your accountant, but with business analysts and people that look at processes, and people that have those sort of heads, and that can help you with that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Fantastic. So tell me a bit about what your priorities in business are right now.
Right now, it's business growth, because, like I said, unfortunately, one of our businesses just took a lethal hit, a lethal dose, and just keeled over. So we need to find new customers and build up all the businesses that are building up organically as well. But when an entire income stream goes, then you gotta look at building fast. So we're building fast. So we're looking for new customers for the tax practice, marketing on LinkedIn, marketing on Facebook, marketing on Instagram, those social media. That's where I think 95% of inquiries are coming from right now.
Yes.
They're coming from social media because everyone's on it. Like everyone's spending their time on it. There's nowhere else to go. What are you going to do? So they're on social media a lot more.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true.
Yeah.
So let me ask you on a personal level, what lessons have you taken out of this whole climate?
Okay, so personally, what I've taken from this, I had a mentor. He passed away a few years ago. He's a multimillionaire, and he said this. He said, "Look, persistence beats resistance. So whatever resistance you're having right now, maybe the business is gone, or maybe it's struggling, or maybe you want to grow it better. Like, I don't care what tier you belong to,
Yeah.
you will have some resistance to it, right? When you're trying to grow it.
Yeah.
And it's the old sales thing. You've probably heard this. 99 times someone says no to you. If you ask 100 times, well, what happens? It's an oversimplification of this.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like that, because if you've worked with all this resistance, there's hurdles and all that, and there's that last one there, and you give up right before that last one, then you've lost. But you somehow find the courage to just go past that last one there. It's over. You've won.
Yeah.
So it's that's what he was trying to teach me, and I live by that. And you're not always going to win. Let's face it. And something like this happens. How do you handle this, right? But if you do hang in there, and David, I know you had some personal challenges yourself a couple of years ago, and you're here and you're looking great, man. Like, your business is good as well, Bradley. So it's good to see you. So like, that's the sort of thing we're talking about. You got to hang in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. Resilience or persistence beats resistance is a very interesting sort of way of looking at it, because I think people forget. You're right. I did have an accident 2 years ago. I was in hospital for 3 months.
Yeah.
And most people don't even know anymore. And yes, it wasn't that simple. I had to work my way back. But the point for me was, that's just the challenge. That's the challenge of running a business. It's sometimes, when things go wrong, the challenge is, how do you move past them? And I think really with the whole COVID experience, for most people in business, I can look at it as a glass half empty. The sky's fallen, I'm in trouble. Or I can say, well, how do I make my business stronger for next time?
Yeah.
It's the perspective as well, right?
Yeah. I'll change it or abandon one and start another. Look for some grants, or look for some help that you can get. Talk to these guys that are filling out the grants and all that. I've got a couple of people that's what they do. They specialize on those grants, and see if you can find some extra money, relaunch, jump into it, push, keep going.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. So let me ask you, do you read any books in business?
Yes, I do. Right now I'm reading a book on sales by I think he's Australian, Tony Hughes. I don't know if he's Australian or not, but yeah, it's a very good book on prospecting, out of all things, because accountants don't prospect. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to get less rejections because they're not used to an accounting firm going, hey, I don't know you from a bar of soap, but do you want to do business? Well, it's not quite that, but I thought there'd be some opportunities there. Profit First is another one, Michael Michalowicz. That's a really good one. As an accountant, obviously, I'm going to think something like that is godsend. But
let's go back to the sales book. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned out of that?
Well, I just started it, but he talks a lot about, like a two-punch sort of method when you're prospecting, in terms of don't prospect and offer your services, but prospect with something else. Get people to a webinar, get people to something and for that you can prospect like crazy, because you're not selling. So there's less resistance, more people will participate. And a week of pushing my my event on LinkedIn got me 70 or 85 attendees or something like that. Just for about a week. On LinkedIn, because you're not actually selling. You're not saying, hey, it's $150 a tax return or whatever it is. Do you want a 20% discount with 50 bonuses? That's not what you're doing. What you're doing is like, hey, I've got something really valuable. It's for your niche. Do you want to find out what your accountant is potentially not telling you because they're not specialized in your niche? That's a very different USP.
Yeah, great. So really just having a two-part approach. So you've got something to give away first to get interest, and then from there you can talk about your product or service. Yeah,
and then you get into the phone. He says, all, and it's true, like all my appointments, all the sales, I say 100% has been on the phone. It's very rare that, you'll sell all times and everything on a social media message. It does happen, but usually you get them on the phone and then that's it.
Yeah, brilliant. And let me ask you one last question. The number one piece of advice you give to someone in business right now?
I think we've said it all along, just, persist. It's a strong economy. There's a lot of intrinsic value in this economy. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't abandon ship. There's a lot of value here, and there's good people around you. 2 months ago, I quote this: business expenses. People were talking about how people are not buying anything anymore. B2B expenses was down to only by 6%.
Yes.
So it's not huge. So people are spending, people are still out there, and it is a strong economy. So we're not going anywhere.
No, and I think you're spot on when you you talk about it. And what gets me excited is you're reading a book on sales. You talk about profit first. There's so much information available online. People can jump online and watch seminars, watch webinars. They can learn a lot of things right now. So sitting there in isolation, that's a voluntary thing, you know. Being connected to the internet, you can go back to university. You can actually learn anything you need to be successful. It's just a matter of the discipline to sit there and actually absorb and apply the knowledge.
Yeah, go to university. That'll help me out as well because I'm lecturing. So yeah, definitely. That's it. That's an indirect plug. Yes, go back to university.
Very good. Awesome. Darren, I want to thank you for your time today. It's been enjoyable, a bit of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, just let's hope you can sort of keep that persistence going, and we'll get some people back to uni for you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, David. The feeling is shared. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers.